Another thing I hear players say is that taunts need more of a use. At face value, taunts are not all that useful. They only take away a minuscule amount of meter, at the cost of throwing away almost all Okizeme options. However, taunts do have some extra uses that you may find worthwhile. First is the infamous taunt combo. Taunt combos involve using a taunt to create or extend a combo. These can be very useful for increasing a character's damage output. Especially for characters known to have low damage output. It's also great for converting a stray sweep into a finishing blow. You have to be careful with them, however, as some taunt combos greatly increase damage scaling. Also, you can only do one taunt combo per round. If you do one in practice mode, you have to use reset in order to do one again. Another use for taunts is to manage timed buffs more efficiently. The timer for buffs such as Mode 2 or Polnareff's After Image is halted while taunting. Since the opponent immediately gets up after, you can immediately pressure them again. Here, you can see the difference of Mode 2 with or without taunts. Using taunts, Wamu is able to get a full third combo in. Speaking of the Pillarmen, if they are in Mode 1, you can use a taunt to push the timer past the threshold where they can cancel out of it, trapping them into a long cooldown. Diavolo benefits greatly from taunts when he is in stand on. After he taunts, the camera has to readjust, leaving the opponent to make a hard guess between his multiple options. This can be seen in other characters, but Diavolo is a prime example of it. Some people think taunts should be buffed, but I think we should be careful not to make this kind of behavior viable. One thing I'd like to see is characters with character-specific taunt combos be applied to all opponents. I'd also like to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again. Now all that's left is to wrap up some miscellaneous stuff. First, it would be nice if they took care of the remaining bugs in the game. Also, just as you can turn off stage hazards, I'd like to turn off situation finish too. Sometimes it's fun, but other times it seems like it drags things out a bit. Something else I'd like to see from a potential sequel is for them to cut down on cutscene time. Super animations tend to go on for a noticeably long time, adding a lot of downtime to the game. I think rounds wouldn't feel so long if they were shortened. Overall, I think it would bring a bit of pep to the game's pacing. At the character select screen, it would be nice to be able to change your controls. This is a feature that's becoming more common in fighting games, as it makes running tournaments smoother. A sorely missed feature in practice mode is a record function. This would allow players to test setups and see which moves are punishable. Some way to get an idea of frame data would be nice as well. Of course, they should get rid of that crappy campaign mode too, especially the microtransactions. Eyes of Heaven got rid of it, so I think they got the message. One last thing I want to talk about is the online in this game. This is probably the most disappointing aspect of the game for me. This game's online is the most bare bones and featureless since Street Fighter II HD Remix. It needs group rooms and it needs spectating so people can learn from others. It also fosters a better sense of community. But the worst thing of all is the netcode. The netcode in this game is some of the worst you'll ever see. We're talking up to and over 1 full second of input delay, and that's if there's no choppiness. Because the netcode of this game was so bad, the community completely dried up. The only way people can be enthusiastic about sharing match vids or setting up tournaments is if they see people playing and see talent develop. You can't do that with this game's online. At least, not on the North American servers. It's especially discouraging after seeing that Eyes of Heaven's online was also so terrible. I mean, at this point, with netcode this bad, it's almost false advertising to put online play on the box. If CyberConnect 2 makes another JoJo game, I hope they see the backlash and take online seriously. That's all I really have to say about the game at this time. If you were thinking of trying it out, with all this in mind, you're probably going to be playing this game and hating it for at least a week, until you learn to get used to 30 frames per second, learn a character, look up their combos, and slowly develop a neutral game for it. And then I hope after a while, you come to appreciate it a bit more. As I said in the past, some people really had to put up with the Japanese launch of the game, and that's a real shame. If you do have a copy, I mean, you can always go online and get the latest patch and see if you like it a little bit better. I hope that if CyberConnect 2 makes a new game, that they stick with either All-Star Battle or Eyes of Heaven gameplay, and don't try and reinvent the wheel again. I hope they focus on giving a sequel that addresses the players' concerns, and really make a product that we can be fully satisfied with. You know, no weird cavats, no trying to explain things for it, but just something you can show people and say, yeah, I really like this. And don't have to really think, well, I could be playing a different game right now. I could be playing Tekken right now. I could be playing Street Fighter right now. Thanks so much for watching this series. I know some parts had some lengths of time between them, but I did in fact have a lot of fun making it. And I hope you had some fun watching it. If I make any more All-Star Battle videos, I'll probably go back to making character videos. Thank you, and see you in the near future.